Hi guys, it's Waz with another model. Right, dread time. Yes, I've made another dread. Commissioned by a guy in Switzerland, and tried to make it different to the last one I did, and I think I achieved that to a certain extent. There's very little I'm going to be able to do to make it look completely different to the ones I've done before, so I just have to be careful. I'm showing you this in this state rather than sprayed grey because I want you to see the work I've done added to the dread itself, even though there's still some Games Workshop Orc bits and bobs on here as well. But yeah, I will take some photographs of this later and of it in the grey primer, so you can see much greater detail. I will put some work in progress photos on as well if I can find them, and yeah, so there you go. It's very different to the last one I made. There's a bit more clunkiness to this one, like with this arm here. I've done this bit here with this. I've seen this bit done before somewhere else. I think it was on Daka Daka. I'm not 100% sure, but someone did this with it, but they had it on this arm as well, and I thought, nah, I only want it on one arm because I want it to look like the orcs have had to scratch build this whole part of the arm again. Obviously through battle damage. That's what they loot these vehicles after a battle. Well, I'm assuming they do. I'm assuming they don't break into HQ, Space Marine HQ, and nick them. So I'm guessing they get them off the battlefield, and they have to repair them somehow and add bits to them and do their shit. So yeah. So I've seen this bit done before, and it worked. It looks really cool. But I'm a attention to detail, like you guys know. So obviously there's a little winder here with the thing here that winds on the chain and that. So I stuck a grot there to make it look like, you know, there's at least going to be someone there to wind it on. I did the exhaust at the back, just, you know, played around with the look of it really. Added some plates everywhere to cover up the battle damage. Lots of cables. Got a shooter here and a shooter here. Really hard to place these shooters. It really is. Obviously, looted Dread Knight. Dread Knights come with their own weaponry. With their own weaponry, the smaller weaponry are on the back of the arms, back of the hands, sort of thing here. And obviously, I've added lots of detail on the back of the hands here. So it's really, to put a shooter here, it wouldn't look right. It just would look completely out of place. So I mixed it up. Plus, I wanted to keep the claw bit in scale, if that makes sense. Because the last one I did, the claw bit came right out, and then the weaponry was behind it. It just didn't look right. I mean, don't get me wrong. It still looked fairly good, but in my head, I was thinking, you know, I could change it a little bit. You know, do something a little bit with it. So again, I stuck one of the shooters down here, made one of the shooters as small as I could possibly get away with, and I've glued this one on. The one that's on the side of the autocannon here is magnetised on. The reason why I did that, because for display purposes, I think the autocannon looks really cool like that. But for when he goes gaming and stuff, you stick the autocannon back on, so you don't get these Games Workshop bloody rule bashers that want to, you know, pick him up for not having the shooter on when it's represented. So there you go. That's why that's magnetised. And also it makes it quite easier to paint around here and stuff. Okay, right, it does come apart to a certain extent. Right, there's his boss pole, which I've made for him, and that can come off. The body splits in half. Obviously I've done the magnet there. Okay guys, so if you're thinking of doing something similar, that's how I've done it, because at the back here, that's the bit that keeps it in place, alright, when it's moving around. Okay, You can see the legs are moving a little bit as well. All right, that's because they're not stuck in to the feet. Again, and I've got to stop saying again, I did this because of the painting issue, so you can get in there and paint around there. And that's it. And the base is just a it's just a mishmash of bits and bobs. He's got a bit of a nice area for dirt and grass to grow and make his base look really pretty. And over here he's got a mishmash of crap, scrap. In my head, this is like a bit of a scrapyard here, and the dread is walking over the scrapyard, and I really like it, to be honest with you. I'm going to do something similar to it. So there's my pins going straight through into the feet and holding the feet on. I mean, to be honest with you, they're not the greatest. They're not really that great. There's a little bit of wobble in that. But it's up to him. He can pull these out. He can reposition them. It's entirely up to him. Okay. So there you go, guys. That's my dread. I've spoke enough about it now. I really like it. I've learned from the mistakes of the last dread I made, and come up with this. I will put some photographs on another video of closer up, especially the autocannon. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I straight copied this from the Forge World autocannon, and all I did was just add a little bit of my own. I didn't want this to be under here. I wanted it to be above, because there's no worse than copying. What's the point in copying something and not having it as original as what you wanted it, if that makes sense? So if I wanted to get it exactly like the Forge World one, well, why don't the fuck that I just buy a Forge World one? Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I wanted this to be more my own design, even though I have copied the Forge World one, but it's different, if that makes sense. I hope it does make sense. Sometimes I just waffle on and don't make sense. Anyway, right, there you go, guys. My dread. Hope you enjoy it. Enjoy the video. Please share. Please pass on the information I'm giving you. I'm here to help you modelers. Alright, guys. Speak to you later.